Hey, how's it going out there tonight, guys? This is J Street with J Street Sports coming back once again. Tonight, I have a DC legend that normally I do a basketball or a boxing. This kind of got a little bit of both, basketball and boxing, and also. He's a DC legend. This guy goes by the name of Curtbone. Um, Definite DC legend. A redemption story as well. A guy that had, went through a couple issues, but has straightened his life out. Now is a mentor to youth all over the DC area. Also, he has a story to tell in regards to things that he has done in the sports and now in entertainment. Um, Also, he has a story to tell in regards to fashion. I mean, this guy is into a lot of different things. So we're just awaiting his arrival, and then we're gonna go ahead and start it up on tonight. Definitely been looking forward to this for a while. You know, this guy. What's up, King of Kings? How you doing out there tonight? Thanks for chiming in and coming up here and supporting J Street Sports. Everyone out there, do me a favor, hit that like button and also subscribe to the channel. Thank you. It'd be much appreciated as we trying to build this platform up. Okay, so. Again, we're just waiting on the arrival of DC Curtbone right now. Just waiting for him to come on in. But yeah, guys, I wanted to, on my particular platform, it's going to be situations where we go a little bit beyond the sports realm or something along the lines because sports, entertainment, everything, it all goes hand in hand. And, this guy was, we're going to get into his story. Great story. He also has his own platform that he does. I'm going to let him, give a shout out to what his page is and everything. I've seen some great interviews that he's done so far. He's done interviews. He got interviewed by DJ Vlad, also interviewed DJ Vlad. He got interviews with Sam Cassell. So in the basketball world, we definitely know who Sam Cassell is, NBA champion. Also, besides an NBA champion, Sam Cassell was a great player with Florida State. Matter of fact, Florida State knocked out Georgetown in the NCAA tournament. Sam Cassell senior season. I remember that. So again, we're just waiting on the arrival of Curtbone here. Put the link up. Maybe put the link up. Until then, as we sit here and wait. What's going on in the sports world right now while we're waiting for him. Kuda's got his waiver. All right. So that's some good information. Kudas Wahab has gotten his waiver, so that means that he'll be more likely than not starting center for Georgetown on this year. That is some good information. Also, guys, Kudas, I've been hard on him in regards to his pick and roll defense. And he also had a tough season with Maryland, but he excelled. He did good here at Georgetown. And a lot of times that's the only thing that really, matters is your fit. And he fit the system with Georgetown. So good thing about Kudas. Now Heath is the next one that we're waiting on. We're waiting to see if Heath can get that waiver, because Heath more than likely is going to be the starting two for Georgetown, and him and Murray going to do that wing thing. 2 or 3, they're going to be interchangeable there. How you feel about that, King of Kings, and everybody in the chat about Heath? I'm definitely looking forward to that, because Heath is a good player, proven, expected in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Let's hope so. Let's hope that it comes out good. The NCAA really hasn't been giving no hassles on giving waivers right now. So they've been giving waivers to guys back and forth. So that hasn't really been an issue with guys having to sit out. And yeah, he will start at the 2, and Murray will start at the 3. Murray's going to be the scorer. Heath is a scorer too. And the one thing that I like about Heath and Murray, you're talking about good defensive players, along with Akak. And Kudus, he can be a rim protector. He's definitely better at rim protecting than he is out, having to move his feet and guard someone. So that's good. And Ryan, coming off the bench, can block shots. He's a legit 7 foot, so he can get out there and block some shots. And I'm looking forward to the power forward guy that we have that I can't pronounce his name, man. Bradley. I'm gonna say that. Definitely looking forward to him, because he looked physical and he looked like he is ready to go. Guys, y'all give me 1 second here, man. See. All right, guys, we were just sitting here. Had got a call from Curtbone. So StreamYard and YouTube sometimes is difficult to get on. So we're trying to get the technical difficulties together so that we can get right into that interview. Bradley E. Thanks, King of Kings. He is a bully. And listen, man, you need a bully. You need a bully, because every game and every team, you're not going to be able to finesse. Hold on, guys. We have the man here.
What's going on? What's up?
How you doing, Mr. Curtbone?
Man, I'm good, man. Sorry for the delay. I don't know not about this, this stuff, man.
Yeah, man. StreamYard, that's the way that I had to go, man. I've been doing my thing here for the last few months. I've been doing it through StreamYard because a lot of the when I get on, a lot of times I get on with a panel of people, and we just discuss things, go back and forth on YouTube and stuff. I've done a couple interviews, but mostly it's done like that. So so that's how I've been doing it. But I don't know if you can see the chat, but there's some people already in the chat just sending out little tweets and things, because we was discussing some basketball right before you got on. But man, it's a pleasure to get you up here, man. A pleasure. A lot of people been looking forward to this, including me.
Yeah, definitely pleasure to be on, man.
Yeah, man. Look, let's get right into it, man. I know you're a busy guy. Listen, how does the Curtbone story begin? I want to start as the young kid in DC that was into sports. All right, let's talk about that sports thing. Going into school. I mean, what was it about sports that caught your eye when you was young?
Well, sports. That's one of the first things that you do competitive, you know what I'm saying, outside of body punching and slap boxing and stuff of that nature. That's kind of the thing that the puppies or the young guys, we compete on, you know what I'm saying? So, of course, just being a competitive guy, that's what attracted my attention on the breakaway. And then where I lived at in Langston Terrace, DC, we have 4 schools right based in my backyard, which is my elementary, Charles Young, Brown Junior High, and Spingarn High School. We had a vocational school called Phelps right there too. But all the 3 schools I went to was green and gold. So I kind of was like watching the high school sports as a kid coming up in the 70s. I'm watching all the top guys in the high school to come all over the city, come in Spingarn, a historical basketball program, might be the #1 historical basketball program in Washington, D.C. right now with DeManta and Dunbar. They came of late, but yeah. So just watching all that, man, and it just became a sports head.
Now, when you was coming up, the DC public schools was the thing then, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. DC public, it was an insult to lose to a private school, or a county school.
But so, how did the private sector and the county schools, how did they get so big to the point now where the public school is looked at as a second or third tier? No one's talk about that. They all talk about, hey, I got to get to this private school. I got to, get that scholarship. So how did that change?
I think it was a combination of things. The private school already was basically doing a baby recruiting process. #1, that's from the beginning of time. But like you say, coming from them 60s and 70s and on up, it was neighborhood pride to represent your public school because it represents your whole neighborhood. So they wasn't able to infiltrate as well as they did later on down the years when AAU became big. You know what I'm saying? When AAU became big, it changed the game because all the young coaches was going into the public schools, elementary and junior highs, and then taking the young kids and putting them in private school in negotiations to get better relations with those private schools. So AAU really was probably the biggest monster that killed the public schools because they started recruiting them to junior high and sending them in private schools.
Yeah. And which high school did you attend?
Spingarn.
Now, name a few players because I already know a couple. But I want you to explain, man, who was walking down your high school hallways and in your neighborhoods that was your buddies and stuff that went on that we look at as legends now, but you looked at as just, hey, that's my homeboy from up the street or my classmate.
Well, when we go all the way back before my time, you're talking about 2 of the top 50 NBA greats in Elgin Belly and Dave Bing. That's on the break. We got 2 of them in the in the top 50
Hall of Fame, top 50 of all time,
of all time, not Hall of Fame, NBA all time.
Yeah,
and then you come on down, man. We have a lot of people not hip to a guy named Earl Jones. Earl Jones was one of only 3 players to make Parade All-America for 3 years, and that other 2 players was a kid named LeBron James and a kid named Lou Alcindor.
I think we heard of both of those guys.
Yeah, I think they might have heard about those guys, right? Also, you come on down. We like to say who gave Georgetown their first championship banner. Wasn't Patrick Ewing. Wasn't Sleeping Four. Was a kid named Michael Graham.
He
comes out this big on that.
Right.
Then you go to Sherman Douglas, who goes to be the all-time leading assistant in NCAA history the year he graduated from college. And we had a lot of other guys that did well in the college level and some pro guys that was all the way back in ABA and in the early NBA. So, Spingarn was so deep that guys to get from Spingarn and go over teams and still end up making the league or making top D1 programs, man. That's how deep they used to be at one time.
Right. And now look, I want to take you back. Me and you have had some discussions before. And I know that you grew up just like me, a big Georgetown fan. What attracted you? What was that love that you had for him, Curtbone? Where did it come from? And then how did it leave?
The first of all, the black coach John Thompson. John
Right.
Thompson actually from my neighborhood, Langston Terrace, right down the street.
Right.
So you know
the oldest. Hold on. Make sure you put preference. The oldest projects ever, right? In the United States, right?
Yeah. The second in the United States, the first in DC.
First in DC. That's right.
Right. Yeah. So that was already on the breakaway, and then it was looked at. Even though it was a Catholic school, he brought all black guys up there, and he actually built his program off of public schools. People don't know that. They talk about when Ewan came there, but before Ewan came there, he had some kids from Dunbar, Stacy, Bebe Dorm, other big boy, Big Shelton, what's his name? His last name is freezing right now. They end up being number 8 in the country with just all DC public school guys. So that would make the DC area get attached on to them. And then when he started bringing all them horses in there, man, it was like a black movement, man. It was just like almost like the Black Pride, man.
Yeah, and in the chat, they we got people saying right now that I thought Georgetown was an HBCU when I was a kid. That's true because I think location had a lot to do with that because right near Howard, and we just thought it was that they were full of black colleges.
And man, Georgetown man played a tremendous role in the brand of Nike. You know what I'm saying? Because when Nike was going to come out the gate, you know what I'm saying, the Adidas them had it in its chokehold. You know what I'm saying? Converse probably was a close second. And when Georgetown wore them Nikes, man, it took off. They was making a little bit of wave, but when Georgetown put them Jones on, it became a national phenomenon. It was like almost like a hip hop cult. You know what I'm saying? Right. It took it to a lot, which had John Thompson on the board of Nike to his last breathing days. You know what
That's true.
A strong role on that. You know
were you wearing Nikes back then?
We was wearing a combination of things. Nikes, New Balance. We had a combination of things there. We like to consider ourselves a little slick or sporty in the gear. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
DC area, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Because I the reason I brought that up is because I want to jump into your all days, because I've heard you do many interviews, but a lot of people don't really talk about that baby that you delivered and brought to us, you know what I'm saying, from the ground up. A lot of people don't want to talk about that because the reason I bring it up is Nike, we made Nike hot. You get what I'm saying? Because of the Georgetown brand, because at that particular time you're talking, Georgetown was everywhere. On TV, you'll see shirts, the shoes, all that. How did that, or did that play a role in you starting your fashion and doing your clothing line?
I wouldn't say Nike did. Nike played a role in when I got my clothing line on coming up with my concepts for my outfits because we wanted to match it with Nikes. So you know what I'm saying? So and we know the black and grays and stuff like that. Then the New Balance came along. So Nike played a role in that. When the Jordans come out, you got to make a lot of black and red stuff, obviously. But I was kind of inspired in the fashion thing with we had a clothing store down here by the name of the Maddest Shop. They actually was probably the first, I'm pretty sure the first black brand probably in the country. They actually inspired all the Sean Johns and all those guys that went up in New York because they was going to Howard and they seen that it was a black urban apparel store, so it hit them the way it hit me. And they started in 1985. And then we came along about 1988. So I got a lot of inspiration from them, a lot of inspiration from just being from a fashion city also.
And I mean, you was a young man in 88 when you started that line. So, you was a teenager, right?
No. I started in 98. I was a young adult.
Oh, okay. You said 88. So I thought it was. Okay.
Yeah. 98. I said Madden started in 85.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. So getting back to, being that Georgetown fan. Now, a lot of people up here that, they want to touch into the street thing, but I'm going to touch into when you were going to those games and the situation as far as with John Thompson and the situation with Alonzo Mourning. Do you think you could touch a little bit on that? Because reason I'm asking you about that is because we've heard so many stories about that, and that John just approached Rayford Edmonds and people of that nature, street guys, in regards to his players. What's your knowledge of that?
Yeah, that was true, John. I mean, Lonzo Mourning, Matombo, the guy named John Turner was good friends with Rayford. Played basketball with him on their off time when he wasn't in Georgetown. Was hanging out with him, and John Thompson got a riff of it, and stepped to the guy for him to stop hanging around because I guess the police told him, it wasn't a good look, and so Matombo immediately stopped coming around. Lonzo Mourning eventually winged himself off, didn't immediately, but and the guy John Turner, he said, "Look, that's my friend. I knew him as a child. Nobody can tell me to be with." And unfortunately, it caused him to be transferred out of Georgetown.
Yeah, I remember, and John was a good player as well.
Yeah, he ended up making Houston Rockets. He got
absolutely. He went to the NBA, went to the league, either regardless. Listen, DC got it because on this show I not only do Georgetown, I do boxing as well. DC got a deep history in both. Man, talk about the youth and the boxing side of it.
Yeah, man. I mean, man, hey, I like to think that we the boxing. I know Philadelphia got the title, Joe Frazier and all that good stuff, and Bennett. What's the boy? The middleweight guy.
B-Hop and
I mean, before B-Hop, they had a boy. They love that boy Bennett. They always try to say, you talk to a Philly guy, they swore he Sugar Ray Robinson. But anyway, man, our amateur stuff, man, was incredible. Just like a lot of urban cities around the country, we lost a lot of our best boxers to the streets. Actually, the guys that made it, no disrespect to our champion, we had a lot of champions. That wasn't even our best representation of what we had to offer. You know what I'm saying? We lost a lot of them to the streets. We lost a lot of them to the jail, to Lorton. And man, I mean, sometimes we done had 2 or 3 or 4 people with limit trials consistently. You know what I'm saying? Just from the DC area. And like I say, it's big, man. We used to go to Ohio State Fair sometime, man, and end up fighting each other. DC gyms end up meeting each other in the finals.
Right. The two gyms. Right.
Yeah. So man, we got a rich boxing history. Only thing about it, Bando's but ever since I was a kid on up to about the mid '80s, the late '80s, or the mid '80s, everybody in DC was chasing the Olympics. So when they wasn't making the Olympics at 19 and 20, they was actually standing around at 23 to 24 because they wanted to get that gold, to go that way, maybe because of what Ali did and what the guy before them. But that was the goal. It wasn't even about the pro. It was about getting the Olympic gold and Ray Leonard and all that. And so we lost a lot of guys, man. Too many wars, too many unpaid rounds. Man, we had James Hurst. Didn't end up fair with us as a pro. He was number 1. He went to 3 or 4 limit. He went to 80 trials, 84 trials, 80 and 92. And 92. Wait, 4 or 3
definitely should have been pro.
Right. You talk about a guy named Paul Walker was a killer, 125, the first American amateur to knock out a Russian code, 125. He ended up going towards me. He went in Olympic trials and lost to Kelsey Banks. They were so amazed at Paul losing Kelsey Banks. They put all the money on Kelsey Banks and he laid an egg.
You bringing up Kelsey Banks. I remember Ike Corte beating him into the ground when they fought.
But the club, Ed Hawkins in the trial. When Ed Hawkins, little guy from Midwestern, I think, in St. Louis, he beat him convincingly in the trial. And they were so sold the fact he beat Paul, that they just had Paul as a shoe, and Paul knocked out the Russian, beating Trubus. He went to school with me. He was knocking niggas' dick in the sand. Strong, he by you for Earn Pride. Short little dude, right? And and when he lost to Kelsey Banks had that tall, kept that jab on. He just looked the part. So America force-fed him to us, and he wasn't ready. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this. A lot of people like to put, born and bred. So I'm going to ask that question. that were born in the district. The greatest basketball player born in the district, the greatest boxer born in the district.
Born in the district, not PG County district.
Not PG County,
Okay.
not nobody that was born in North or South Carolina and moved up.
Okay.
I'm talking about someone born in the district, basketball and boxing.
I'm gonna go basketball. I'm gonna go Elgin Bailey.
Okay.
And then boxing, I'm gonna go Mark Too Sharp Johnson.
Right. Yeah. And speaking of Too Sharp, because I know Elgin Baylor was way before your time. So I can't see Curtbone going into Elgin Baylor high school games.
No, I didn't go to them, but just enough.
Right, I got you.
I talked to John Thomason one time, and I said, so John seen everybody from there all the way up to his last dying days.
Right.
And I said, man, name me the top. No, then I said, I called her one day. We was debating down the golf course. Me and some older guys and some, probably 12 people debating. So we was like, who the best guys come to DC between Elgin Bailey, Dave Bean, Adrian Dantley, Lynn Byers, Kevin Durant, and Michael Beasley. And we even threw Grant Hill in there.
Okay.
John Thompson, without hesitation, said, pick the rabbit, which is that's the Elgin Baylor nickname, and say go 10 steps down, and you can go with your second guy.
Elgin Baylor was a bad man, so I get exactly where he's coming from with that.
Yeah.
Listen, Bone. You want
to go with my eyes? You want to go with my eyes?
High school, yes.
You go with my eyes, what I seen, and he wasn't born. You say born in DC, and you'll go with my eyes, what I seen. I'm gonna say Austin Carr or even Adrian Dantley.
Okay. Yeah, definitely Hall of Famers right there. Austin Carr might have been one of the top 5 greatest college basketball players in the history of the game. You know,
they don't hear about because another little guy averaged 35 the same year he averaged 29. So 29 ain't look so cute. You know
29 don't look good at 35. Hey, let me ask you this. Too Sharp, going to his fights at that particular time. I was blessed, man, to watch it on TV. I remember that Arthur Johnson fight. How was it? I could only wish I could have been there, man. How was it to be there, to see, to experience that, and also speak about, because I'm real high on Black people taking care of one another, the things that Mark did to help the community back then as far as in that fight game. Speak on.
First of all, the Mark Johnson fight was a treat in itself. Always say there were 2 dudes that I seen, and Ray Leonard is my #1 fight of all time.
Right.
Mark Johnson and Pernell Whitaker is the only 2 fights that I always tell everybody they can do what they want at any time in the ring at any moment. They can do what they want. They can sit right there in the pocket and don't get touched if they decide to do that for 30 or 40 seconds, right?
Right.
I'm fast now. Mark got a lane of his own with those. I'm faster than you, and if you want to power, I'm more power than you. And you want to be slick, I'm more slicker than you.
Right.
Mark was a gift from God. I don't even give his father that credit. I give his father the credit for presenting the opportunity to stand on top of him. But he was just a gift. He was just a gift from God. I mean, seeing him fight didn't do you no justice because you had to see him train because he had to spar dudes that was 125, 132, and that was pros, and so you can get a chance to see somebody get him a little problem, and he still did what he wanted with those guys. So seeing him fight, he was stealing, and he was just stealing. He was stealing. The best thing happened to him, he got robbed his very first fight as a pro. They went to Poland, went somewhere and got robbed, and so they showed that he could be beat. You know what I'm saying? And with Mark, man, he did a lot, especially in the Southwest area where he's from. Put a barbershop in the community right there where he was born at. He gave back to his community. Right now, he's training the day youth over in Southeast Ward 8, some of the most worst places in DC, especially with the mental health and family conditions. Just a great guy, man. He's already in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
I can go on and on about Mark in the
Because
boxing room.
I remember he also discombobulated how he went to the networks and said, I don't care about Michael Buffer or Jimmy Lennon. You're going to have to put discombobulated Jones as the announcer. I remember him doing that as well, you know, to put him on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He didn't use the excuse that is used now when guys will say something along the lines of, "Hey,
Man,
you know, I'm just
I can't do it. My promoters,
right,
my promoters did all
right,
that.
right. Yeah, it was none of that. None of that. Speaking
Mm.
of that, you was known also, Bone, not just for the parties, but also for getting together and putting them basketball teams together. And those tournaments and things of that nature. Speak on that, man, because that's something that people ask me about. I can't even tell them all because me and you ain't never really had a full in-depth conversation about that. What were some of the kids that you had, you know, had put on your team and y'all went against in those tournaments?
Oh man,
Uh-huh.
I done had Sherman Douglas. I done had Michael Morrison, which ended up went to Yola and ended up playing for the Phoenix Suns. I done had my man now. It was my main man that went to St. Barnabas. He coached for. He's on the bench in New Jersey now, but he was in Portland with the boy. Damn, having the brain freeze. He'll kill me. I'm having a brain freeze. It'll come back to me. Went to St. Barnabas. Man, Dave Butler went to UNLV. Mike Smith that played with the Animal, played in the league for 10 or 12 years. Victor Page that played on my teams.
Yeah, man.
Kirk Smith, Charles, you name them, man. And we used to go. I put games together against teams in Baltimore, against teams.
Y'all
in
had
Philly,
Chris Wright too, right?
New York. Yeah, we had Chris Wright over there at Bury Farm. We had Chris Wright, Isaiah Swan, Nolan, Michael Beasley. Man, we man, you name it, we had them. I'm the first dude when Arenas came in. They played in the first street game. Was on my all day team.
Gilbert Arenas.
Bartlett, The first street game he played was on down Dunbar against We Are One. We was all days. It was him, a battle against him and Steve Francis.
Oh man, Stevie Franchise.
Yeah, a bad boy. Steve Franchise and Kevin Durant is the only two dudes that everybody say, man, these motherfuckers is this. And when you seen it, it was everything everybody said, man. Especially KD.
Yeah, man. And listen, man, you said a name that Georgetown people, if I didn't follow up and talk about it, you know what I'm saying, they would say something to me. Victor Page.
Yeah.
Definitely a favorite player of mine's, man. I love the kid energy. But Bone, I was gonna ask you in regards to the mentoring and things that you do with them kids in DC and surrounding counties. But speak on Victor for a minute, because I know you've known him for since a child. In your opinion, from the outside looking in, what went wrong in that situation?
Man, mental health. Medicating itself with drugs. So us all being young, we didn't have the IQ, the diagnosis to look and see who was looking at. It was just in our eyes, a young guy from the hood just didn't give a fuck. It just went hard. But man, had a lot of family issues and the mental health issues, man. And with the combination of the drugs, the PCP, he didn't have a chance. You know what I'm saying, man? I'm gonna give you a short story on Victor Page, man.
Okay.
Chicago Bulls was going to take Victor Page with the last pick in the second round, or the first pick. So they ended up taking Keith Booth with the pick.
Okay.
They called John
Baltimore
Thompson.
kid, right?
Yeah, they called John with the Maryland with Gary Williams. They called John, and this is John Thompson word. It's not my words or Victor word. And John Thompson said they called him and say, "Look, man, we like him, we love him. We just want to have one look at him up close. Can you get him up here?" John put him on a plane for Save the Workout was Wednesday morning. He put him on a plane Tuesday. Say, call him when you get up there. Say, Victor Page got up there, called him Tuesday. He said, okay, man, play tomorrow like your life depends on it. He said they had a workout for 11 o'clock. The people called John at 1:30 and say, hey, where Vic at? He said he's up there. I talked to him last night. He said, well, we ain't never see him. Man, Vic went up there, went out to the bar, got drunk, got some girls, and never went to the workout. You know what I mean? And that's the type of mental health that we talking about.
Yeah, man. He was a sad story. And now he doing what, 20 years in prison
Yeah,
in regards to a rape.
rape attempt, I want to say, or something
Yeah,
like
rape
that.
attempt, because I think
Yeah,
they pulled him off, and real sad story, man, real sad.
man.
And speaking of mental health and things of that nature, a lot of people, again, they know you for your story as far as what you had done, in the streets, and a lot of people revere the street life and things of that nature. But I can say from the time that I've known you, I've never heard you brag about anything that you've done in the streets. You never said, "Oh, I had this amount of money," or nothing. So the things that you talk to me more about and put more emphasis on is what you do with those kids and in those homes and stuff that you deal with. How did you
Right.
get into that, man? And and when did you decide that that's what you wanted to do, with your life and your time?
Man, believe it or not, man, even when I was living a life of crime,
Mm-hmm.
I still had the compassion in my heart and that type of leadership skills and wanting to see people do better. Because my grandmother, rest in peace, she had us
Mm-hmm.
in the church. She had me in the church from right out the womb, basically. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So, and then she came and got me out the hood, 3 or 4 times a month, or about 4 times a month. We go to church every weekend, every Sunday, and then we
Right.
go fishing. So she showed me life outside the hood. So when I go
Mm-hmm.
back in the hood, I was able to see that, damn, it's a real struggle here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So even when I broke law, I caught myself trying to help people and pay rent and put food in people, place overpaid people. Because I'm looking at their living conditions, man. So it was always in my spirit. I just had to channel it in a positive or a legal aspects of it, man. So I'm right where I've always been at.
Right.
Right there, even me playing, I played sports and basketball. I was always overweight, and I still always the point guard. So I'm a distributor by nature. You know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying? Yeah.
That's right.
Mm.
That's right. So, how did you get into mentoring the kids in DC and the surrounding town? Because I see that you had the heart for it, and that's what you wanted to do. How did you get? Who did you went talk to someone, or somebody came to you? How did that come about?
Well, I've been mediating beefs they call or drug wars or street wars for
Mm-hmm.
over 25 years, just on my
Gotcha.
own with no nothing, no funding, no police with me, no nothing. And about 5 or 6 years ago, a guy named Mr. Clinton Lacey came down from New York and took over the Department of Youth and Rehabilitation services, and he put
Mm-hmm.
a program together that's called Credible Messenger, where those he find people that had backgrounds, street backgrounds that was credible to the youth that's living that life now, and made a mentoring program. And someone approached me and said, "Man, we think you'll be good with us. We'd like to invite you out, see what it is." And I went there, spent the night down the juvenile facility overnight, with three for over the weekend. And then I didn't look back at it. Now it become my way as a profession. Now where I'm actually getting residuals, which I've been doing for 25 years for nothing. So yeah.
Right. What would you say is the biggest factor in the kids? And what I'm gonna ask you this: I know that when most some of the kids, see you, they have heard their uncles or father, grandfather, whatever, give a idea of who you are. But
Hmm.
how do you like the word I'm looking for? How do you put it all together to show them something different, regardless of your past?
Uh, First of all, man, I never changed my walk. My walk is consistent. You know what I'm saying? The way
Mm-hmm.
I live is how I walk. Also, I was fortunate enough for, even though in my times of trauma or crisis, it was documented. And one thing about the youngins now, they visual, so they can go
Right.
Google you and
Yeah.
can actually see and read. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's something similar to their lifestyle. That helps a big deal. And then when
Right.
they talk to you, then they talk to their, like you said, their uncles and mothers and fathers, and they tell them the same thing they reading, and they like, well, no, he your age now. They say, nah, but he was that then and he was that now. So I got kind of like a cheat sheet with getting credibility with the with
All right, you back. You Curtbone, you're muted. I think you mute yourself. Yeah, we can't hear you. Can you hear me? All right, go out and come back in. Let's see if that works. Hold on a second, guys.
hear me? Hello? Yeah, I hear you now. I mean, I got it was the mute. The mute was on. Hello?
Hey, yep, we on now. All
Yeah,
right, I
yeah,
was just
yeah.
trying. I couldn't hear you, but
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can hear you
yeah,
now. All right,
yeah.
sorry about that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
go
I'm
ahead.
just saying the good with the Google, they're able to research you, and then and once they research and they go do their leg work and they get the same information that they just read, it
Right,
makes my job a lot easier to get their attention.
right, because you're credible at that point.
Right, exactly.
And look, to tag that back into basketball
Mhm.
or sports in general, you
Mhm.
know, do you think if the basketball can get back big into the public schools, because a lot or sports in general can be okay, can be a deterrent for some of those kids, or is those kids beyond the school element, you think?
I like to always try to think positive, but I also like
Mhm.
to try to be realistic. Also,
Right.
um, I don't see the public schools getting no better. Um, the way the world moving now, even with this what we doing now, you look on YouTube or you look on things like everything has been shown to you in 4 and 5 minute increments. Uh, Everything is light and fast. I mean, they don't even have physical money. You Ubering off your food, Uber eating all that. I think traditional school as we know it will become obsolete at one time
Hmm.
at some point, right? And
Right.
um, and if you look at everything, if you look at everything around you, from automobiles, the planes, to the bath, to the church, everything.
Hmm.
School is the only thing that remains the same way. You go on there, chairs, desks, such and such, and then when you go
School
into
book. Right.
school book, right? Kids are visual now. They want their
Mhm.
hands. They on the computer. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they living right now in reality and the metaverse. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
man, gotta never created a way to reach them. They didn't create always been a capitalist society now, but we was never capitalist amongst the juveniles. Now the youth is capitalist. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They can make money by going on TikTok or YouTube
And make
and
funny
cut
videos.
and make
Yeah.
funny video. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So dude, I dropped out of school in 12th grade trying to be a
Hmm.
capitalist. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
these kids now making what we was making in the streets in junior high school.
Whew.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, so man,
Yeah.
it's gonna be hard. They're gonna
Right.
find a way to refigure this
Right.
thing out, man.
Right. Without the violence and without the headache.
Without the vibe, without the headache, man, and the
Yeah.
violence have become so normal That is not even considered violence in their world. It's just a way of living.
And let me ask you about that. And you speaking of the violence, man, I know it got to be a tough job because you start to mentor and be there for these kids. You begin to care for these kids and love these kids, man. And I know that you're a great father. You know what I'm saying? Got kids in college, man. What happens in these situations when you lose a kid? Because those, that I know that happens. You know what I'm saying? A kid you talk to on Thursday, you end up hearing he got killed on Friday or Saturday. Like, man, what kind of emotional thing that does to you, brother?
Oh man, it's devastating, man. It's devastating. And man, and with this work, Judas, man, sometimes it's devastating before the act even actually happens, because you can talk to a kid and say, this kid is going to be killed in 3 to 6 months. And so now you watching them live to be killed. And you telling them, but he not comprehending it on no shape, form, or fashion. And then the inevitable happen, he gets killed. Man, those be some of the worst ones to get in the call and saying somebody got killed coming from the club. You know what I'm saying? Because you looking at yourself, basically can't do what you feel like your job is, and you look and you can't perform it.
Right,
man, this mentoring stuff is something. It's different from what we've known coming up when our older guys mentoring guys that came in our era, because it was all when the mentors got to the youth back then, even the criminals, they already had some type of structure, whether it was from their uncle, their mother, their father, the school, the big boy in the neighborhood. Man, these kids, man, they never had no structure, don't know no better, had no males around them. So when your voice go past level 5 to level 7, you might as well should have smacked them by raising your voice to them. You know what I'm saying? And man, it's a hell of a thing, man, that we up against. And we ain't even talking about the drug use on top of that.
Right. We ain't got into the drug use.
We ain't even talking about that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So man, and I always tell people, whoever got the mic, they MC the party. You know what I'm saying? And the rappers got the mic, so they making the rules and the regulations and the laws. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I was coming up, the street dudes had the mic, but the good thing about the street dudes was they was mentor and they was mimicking older street dudes that had class.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And they didn't want you in the streets.
They ain't want you in the streets.
And that reminds me of a story of a kid that I knew in Raleigh, North Carolina, that had died of drug use with lean. And no. He was smoking the embalming fluid.
A love boat.
The love boat.
PCP called it.
PCP. And man, going into the funeral home, the whole funeral home smelled like embalming fluid. Because of him had it so much in his body that, you know what I'm saying, them pumping him in there, they were adding on to what he had in his system. And it just was so sad, man, because you're right, man, the drug use, and now with the pills and the fentanyl, those are bigger killers than crack and cocaine ever was, man. So many are falling off. It don't matter your race, your age. It don't matter if you're a superstar, whatever. But I want to ask you this question. I never heard anyone ask you here. Now, I lost my mother about a year ago. But I remember, you know what I'm saying, calling you when you had lost your grandmother. Man, what type of, what did she mean to you? And the reason I'm asking you this is because you just talked about structure. And people have heard you talk about different interviews that you've done, and you talk about coming from from a good neighborhood, and you didn't have to go the route you did. Speak on your grandmother for a minute.
Oh yeah, my grandma, man, that was my rock, man. That was the family rock. She taught me work ethic. She taught me accountability. She taught me spirituality. She taught me, man, when I was playing basketball, elementary and junior high, when I look up in the stand, if nobody was going to be there, she was going to be there. It's the first person I seen who owned a house. Told me about paying the bills, how to pay the mortgage. Man, she was everything, man. It was just a blessing to be able to be a part of the time I was able to have on Earth, man. So we could do a whole segment on Grandma Elizabeth.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely. And Curtbone, I always appreciated y'all guys from DC from afar. I mean, because it ain't as far as people think, 'cause it's still in the South, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, but we all had that, and I can see the difference, man, and the things, because a lot of people that's in your position, when they come out and they do interviews and they talk, they don't do interviews and talks like this right here, because the masses want to hear about, man, who got put in the trunk. You know what I'm saying? Talk about a murder here, talk about Lord in prison and what happened here and there. You know what I'm saying? But you able to break down things like that. We done talked about the Georgetown, the boxing, but we done spent more time talking about the mentoring and the things that you're doing out there in that community, man.
Yeah. Because that's what it's about, man. I mean, a lot of times, man, people hold highlights be that moment, that life of crime moment. And the life of crime, that's a career that's not a long career, even though people talk as if it's a long career. Man, that was, but man, I want to be remembered, man, for what I brought to society. Not what I took from it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's how I like to, be seen, man.
Right. And you talked about being a big guy, but Curtbone, tell people how much weight you done lost, man, because you ain't the big guy you was when I met you.
Hey, man, look, I had lost 100 pounds, but unfortunately, I put back on 50 of them. So I've been trying to get them back down now, right? But it ain't spread crazy yet. So people still like, man, you looking good, because they used to that 100 pounds ago, right?
Right.
But man, I went over down to like almost a 1X. So now I'm like in a tight 2X, working my way back to a 3X. But I started.
Come on, man, with a tight 2X. Come on,
it was tight 2X, man. Cause I'm still trying to squeeze it in. I got one right now.
I hear you, man.
I'm fighting for the 3, man.
Hey, man. Hey, look. You used to tear up some Chipotle, man. You had that system down, man. The eating right thing. I mean, trust me, I need to go there too, because a lot of us that's listening, that's talking to you right now, man. We need to get on that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, seriously, we gotta, as black men, we definitely gotta take care of our health.
Yeah, that COVID woke me up, man, because we all got a conspiracy theory on who we think the COVID is, we think the shots is, but again, I'm a guy, practical guy. I do my own analysis on stuff, and what I seen was obese and older people was dropping like dominoes. Yeah, and I said, well, I fit one of those categories, so I lined up for the 2 shots, and it worked on my health, man. And God willing, I'm doing pretty good so far, and I lost some good friends that didn't believe that was a reality.
Yeah, my mother died from that.
Yeah,
man. It's something, man. It's definitely real. But look, I can't get you off here without asking you this question, man. You got to give me an all-time Georgetown team, all time. Name your top 5 guys. It don't matter the position.
It don't matter the position.
Don't matter the position.
Yeah, I'm gonna go at the guards. I'm gonna go Sleepy Floyd, Alvin Iverson.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Patrick Ewing. I'm gonna go Reggie Williams.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go Mike Graham, because we don't need no more scoring anyway. I'm gonna put Mike Graham that power.
Okay. So you got a DC guy, a Baltimore guy, Massachusetts guy. You got a Virginia guy. And we also got my man Sleepy Floyd from North
Carolina. Oh, yeah,
North Carolina.
Hey, man, people don't talk about that Sleepy Floyd, bad man.
Oh, man. Hey, look, I told somebody the other day, Sleepy Floyd, for what he did at Georgetown, is a top 3 player in the maybe top 2. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that Allen put in some work, but he did it for 2 years. Sleepy did that thing 4 years, and he took the program, to the the highest level, with Pat Ewing. But he get a little, overlooked. And I guess it was 1980, 81, 82, right? So
yeah, 80, 82,
yeah. So people, it's out of their memory now.
I ain't never forget Michael Jordan.
Oh no, me either, man. He broke my little heart. I was a youngster. He broke it.
Yeah,
hey, let me ask you this, man. King of Kings asked in the chat, he need an all-time DC team from you. He need 5 DC guys, whether it's the high school game, No, I'm gonna change it a little bit, King of Kings. Tell me who you seen top 5 with your eyeballs in DC.
Well, I seen with my eyeballs top 5. Earl Jones, kid named Michael Best. He went to St. Anthony's with that Smitty team, and they was number 1 in the country too behind. Michael Best, Earl Jones, Asian Danny. I mean, no, Asian Branch.
Okay, Branch.
Like the play in the country for the whole year, that you ended up getting knocking him out of the bar. He'd be in top 3 or 4.
Right.
That's 4 right there. And then I'm gonna go. What did I say with my eyes? I'm gonna go DC. Shit. That last can be a combination to do. So I'm just gonna go ahead and grab. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the boy Andre McClyde that went to Seton Hall.
Okay. I thought you was gonna go Sherman Douglas there.
Yeah, goddamn. Somebody take somebody out there. Take somebody out there and put Sherman in. Yeah,
right,
take somebody out there and put Sherman in.
So you gonna go with Sherman on it.
Yeah. Take somebody and put Sherman in.
Hey, and listen, and this is for me here. Give me your 5 all-time DC fighters. Your favorite. Not necessarily the best, just bone favorite.
They ain't gotta be the best. They're my favorite. Okay. Mark Johnson. We ain't counting Ray as Pete because capital PG Ray. Don't count Ray. Don't count him.
Okay. No. Okay. All right. Okay. Look, we're not counting North Carolina fighters. I'm sorry.
Hey, look, that's it. What you say. That is the equivalent of New York claiming Jordan.
I agree. I agree, man. No, Ray is definitely PG County. Ain't no doubt about it. Okay, I like to have fun with people, though.
We're gonna go with Mark Johnson. I liked it. The boy Derek Coley, fighter. I'm loving the boy Gary brother right now.
Antoine.
Oh man, yeah, I'm loving him.
I love Antoine too.
He a 2022 earned prize right now.
No doubt.
I had the boy Paul Walker never really turned pro, but it was a killer as an amateur. And then my 5th man, I'm gonna go with a guy he just quit in the middle of his top of his game. Name was Jamal Hinton.
Okay.
Yeah, bad man. He fought like 119. Look him up. He had a little belt and all that. Somebody got close to him that was a Muslim or something, and this was some type of religion, and he walked away. Like he would have been
cold turkey.
He was something special.
And let me ask you about somebody that didn't quite make it because and that was Too Sharp brother.
James.
Yeah,
that's the one I say with the 3 or 4 limit trials.
Right. With 3 or 4 limit trials. Yeah, man. Like, what was the thing? I mean, I know Ham was right there. What happened? Ham couldn't talk him into turning pro.
Man, that Olympus, man, DC, man. It's something on that Olympus, man. That was gold. You know what I'm saying? I mean, for whatever reason, that was the goal. I don't think I think the fact that we wasn't a boxing town like in the 50 to 65 pros, that there was nobody to set the groundwork. The follow the what's name because after after the Keith Holmes and Daryl Coles and all of them.
Right.
Then the Mont Peters and all that came after that, they did the right way. Like, we don't get it by 1920. You go ahead and turn pro, right?
William Jaffe, yeah.
Yeah, but before this, Slim, man, I'll go to Glove ABA Championship was a sight to see, man. You talking about 106 to heavyweight, don't go get no popcorn, don't get nothing, man. I mean, it was stomping down rumbles, man. I mean, you have a dude, it might be a dude that may fight, say he might fight, let's say Ray Leonard weight or somebody weight, or Jamal Hinton weight, and they try to make Limty, and they know they can't make it, they can't even get past him. They'll go to the Marines and Army and make it
through the arm,
the Olympic trials there, because
that's right. That's right.
3 or 4 dudes that did that.
Right.
So man, yeah,
they were serious about that.
The prize of the golden was Olympics. I mean, everybody wanted to be the golden boy, man, and when Ali and them did it, man, and I think that hurted the mindset. And by that time, you talk about poverty. So, dude he been fighting from 14, and he's 22. He was banking on the Olympics. Now he don't get the limit. Now he done put a gun in his hand. He armed robbery somewhere.
Yeah, right. Because he feel like it's over now. He done wasted time. Look, before I go, we know about your show, Exchanging Jewels. You know, give us a name or two to be on the lookout for an interview that's about to drop.
Karan Butler, we about to drop Karan Butler. We also got a Crip guy from a Compton Crip guy named Crip Bra. He was one of the original Crip guys out there. We're gonna drop him. And we're working on a date for Byron Leftwich, the
football player.
Yeah, we're working on a date for him.
Yeah, Byron Leftwich, quarterback, number 1 pick. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, but he was number 1.
He was first round pick. First round pick. Yeah, first round pick out of Marsh. Yeah, big boy too now. He is a big boy. He was
another good guy. Another good guy. He give me 200 turkeys every summer. I mean, every Thanksgiving to give away.
Okay.
Don't never want his name mention nothing, man.
Hey, that's a good man right there. That let you distribute it through the city. King of Kings said, "What's your channel?"
Curtbone TV on YouTube. Curtbone TV, man. CURT. As a matter of fact, the name I got under my title, my picture. That's it right there.
That's it right there. Curtbone TV. You know, Curtbone, we be doing the Exchanging Jewels. I'm gonna give you one that I give some people, man. Every once in a while. I tell people that it's easier to hug someone else than to hug yourself, because so much we try to wrap our arms around ourselves. It's hard, but it's easier to do it with someone else, man. So I appreciate you coming on, Curtbone, man, and pretty much, really blessing us with, your information, man, about DC basketball and just life in general, man, and about, real mental health and helping those kids out there in the community, man. I appreciate you giving us, your time.
Man, thanks for having me, man, and just keep pushing, man, and don't keep pushing. I can tell you, man, 'cause I'm gonna do the same, man. I wish you nothing but the best.
Right, and wish you the same. All right, man. You take care. All right, appreciate you. All right. Yes, and again, yes, King, you subscribe to his channel. I appreciate it. All the other people that's in the chat, thank you for coming through and sharing an hour with us to watch Curtbone come in and tell his story and to tell some things about the things that he done in Washington D.C. and the basketball and where things are going. He has a little history with Georgetown. Don't think I didn't hear him say that he called Big John on the phone. So you know what I'm saying? Next time I have him on, I'm gonna talk about all them guys that we should have got. And I appreciate you coming through. Thank you, man, for that compliment. I'm gonna keep them coming. Keep people coming in. maybe tomorrow I might do a boxing show. You know, and I'm just gonna keep on pushing, like he said, man. Y'all take care, and we'll be back at you with another one. Thank you.